22 years down the drain. I mean, can people realize what they're doing is wrong? This is not the way to overcome racism.
I don't care about the racism, I don't care anything, but it's not right, okay? It's not right.
Oh, this is fucking intense. This is right 3 blocks away from my house. Right here, man. I'm in the middle of the fucking...
The 1992 Los Angeles Riots were a major event that shook the United States. For several days, the city of Los Angeles was engulfed in violence, resulting in 63 deaths and $1 billion in damages over 6 days. This unrest was fueled by long-standing tensions between residents and law enforcement, influenced by issues of race and discrimination affecting parts of the population at the time. The riots were also triggered by an act of police brutality against a man named Rodney Glenn King, which was captured on camera and widely broadcast by the media. Even before the footage of Rodney King's beating was released, law enforcement issues in Los Angeles had long been a concern. Leaders of minority communities repeatedly voiced complaints about police misconduct, particularly regarding harassment and excessive use of force against residents. These problems had persisted for years without resolution. During this period, the Los Angeles Police Department was led by Daryl Gates, whose tenure was often criticized for its aggressive approach. Under his leadership, the department implemented militaristic policing strategies, including Operation Hammer, which began in 1987. This operation involved large-scale arrests targeting specific areas within the city. These measures were carried out amid rising crime, fueled by drug trafficking and gang conflicts. Over 5 years, approximately 25,000 people were arrested under the operation, many of whom were African American and Mexican American residents who felt disproportionately targeted. The situation was further worsened by deteriorating relations between different ethnic groups. In certain areas, tensions between African American and Korean American communities grew intense. Economic struggles and cultural differences fueled this divide. Many small business owners felt unsafe running their businesses. The ethnic tensions were exacerbated by the tragic death of an African American child, Latasha Harlins, who was shot by a Korean store owner, Soon Ja-do. The court's verdict in this case sparked public outrage, as the punishment for the perpetrator was seen as too lenient. Many residents felt the justice system was failing them, further inflaming inter-ethnic conflict. The existing anger escalated with the incident involving Rodney Glenn King, which was broadcast nationally. On the night of March 3, 1991, King, accompanied by 2 passengers, was driving on a freeway in the San Fernando area. He was speeding, and when police attempted to stop him, he did not comply, leading to an 8-mile pursuit. Eventually, King stopped in Lakeview Terrace. His passengers were detained first, after which several officers violently beat King, causing fractures to his skull, broken bones in his legs, permanent nerve damage to his face, and serious internal injuries. The officers involved were Sergeant Stacy Kuhn, Lawrence Powell, Timothy Wind, and Theodore Brasino. They claimed their actions were justified because King was uncooperative and allegedly under the influence of drugs, but further tests showed no drugs in his system. The incident was witnessed not only by officers on site, but also by a resident named George Holliday, who recorded the 9-minute assault from his home. The footage clearly showed the brutality and was subsequently handed over to the media, spreading rapidly. The video quickly became a major national news story. Coverage sparked widespread anger and criticism of the police, and activists used the case as a symbol of long-standing grievances. Public pressure led prosecutors to file charges against the officers for assault and excessive force. The trial, however, was moved from Los Angeles to Simi Valley, California, at the request of the defense. The jury composition was criticized for not reflecting the demographics of the city where the incident occurred, raising doubts among the public from the start. After nearly 3 months of trial, the verdict was announced on April 29, 1992. The defendants were acquitted on most charges, a decision based on analysis of the video footage. For many, the verdict confirmed their belief that the justice system was not applied equally. At 5 p.m. on April 29, 1992, riots erupted at the intersection of Florence Avenue and Normandie Avenue. A truck driver, Reginald Denny, became one of the victims. He was pulled from his truck and beaten with blunt objects and rocks. Meanwhile, a man named Fidel Lopez was brutally attacked with a car stereo, nearly losing his life until the local pastor, Reverend Benny Newton, shielded him, declaring, "If you kill him, you have to kill me too." In another location, Larry Tarvin, while driving, was stopped by a mob and beaten with blunt objects and kicked. On April 30th, 1992, the unrest spread to Koreatown, Los Angeles, an area severely affected by the riots. This neighborhood had long been the center of life and business for Korean American communities. As violence escalated, a Korean American teenager, Edward Song Lee, was shot in the chest while attempting to defend a pizza shop and died. During the peak of the riots, law enforcement was largely absent from this area, as many units were focused on other strategic locations. Business owners felt abandoned, and many stores were looted and burned. In response, residents organized armed defense to protect their businesses. On May 1st, 1992, California Governor Pete Wilson deployed roughly 7,000 National Guard troops. President George H.W. Bush authorized federal intervention, sending thousands of additional military personnel, including Marines and Army soldiers, bringing total security forces to over 12,000 to restore order. The riots lasted 6 days, resulting in 63 deaths, 2,000 injuries, and destruction of over 7,000 properties due to looting and fires. Emergency calls flooded in continuously, and the city suffered losses amounting to $1 billion before control was restored. The severity of the riots led to the activation of Los Angeles Emergency Broadcast System for the first time in the city's history, signaling that authorities recognized the situation as completely out of control. After the state court acquitted the officers, the federal government launched a new investigation. The U.S. Department of Justice determined that the case could involve civil rights violations against Rodney King. In 1993, officers Stacy Kuhn and Lawrence Powell faced federal trial and were convicted for violating King's civil rights, receiving sentences of about 2.5 years. The other 2 officers were acquitted. While this did not undo the damage, it signaled that the justice system was beginning to acknowledge wrongdoing. Pressure on police leadership also increased. LAPD Chief Daryl Gates, known for his aggressive approach to crime, eventually resigned. Reform recommendations were implemented, clarifying use of force policies and increasing oversight of officers' conduct. Community police relations became a priority. Rodney King filed a civil lawsuit against the city and received $3.8 million in damages in April 1993. During the riots, King famously asked, "Can we all get along?" A simple question reflecting the hope for an end to the violence. Yet King's life after the events remained difficult, with personal struggles and addiction. On June 17, 2012, Rodney King passed away at his home at the age of 47. The 1992 Los Angeles riots left a profound impact on the United States. The case became a symbol of police violence and highlighted the importance of citizen-recorded video as a tool for public accountability. Since then, civilian footage has increasingly served as critical evidence in similar cases. The Los Angeles riots were not just about a single court verdict. They revealed the deep-seated racial tensions and distrust of the justice system during that era.